Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 388. We are continuing on with the cardinals on the bird page. We did the female and some of the male, more than I thought. I actually went over a tiny bit, so here is where he is at so far. I've already got my pencils sitting right here. I have put them in my hand. Oh, these are not the pencils. Yes, these are the pencils. We were working with, I'm missing one. Oh, it's underneath my swatches. All right, so we were working on the wings, I believe, adding the dusting. I had finished adding this castle earth. Here are my cardinal tones. The lightest is the name I cannot pronounce, Anthraquinoid pink. 571, permanent red 61, scarlet 70, and then the castle earth is most of that, dusting with some black. And of course that was a different day, so here I am doing a little more shadow work. So what looked complete to me yesterday is not as complete to me today. All right, I want to add a little bit of the 571 to fill in the whites. See how close we are to burnishing? I told you yesterday that I can kind of feel as the tooth fills in. It starts to get a certain feel to it when I know it is ready for like the top coat or the burnishing, where I'm going to push down, which is what I'm doing here with this fine pink, to end up with like smoothing out. I can even push into that red and do some little swirls and get it to really look smooth. That is the power of this set of pencils. They are fantastic for blending. So all of the whites, I told you this, that my photo didn't have any whites, but I did want to have some highlights, but the highlights are going to be kind of a glowy pink. So here I am feeling, I could leave a little bit if I wanted, but I kind of want to have it be true to the birds that I stare at my bird feeder. Their feathers are very matte and even, and it's a very vibrant orangey red. Some of them are way more salmony colored than red. The colors vary. So that's his face looking so fancy. Look, I went over there. We might have to fix that. All right, let's see what happens when I burnish these wings. The little dots are made up. They are not a cardinal thing. So I just made them black. Now his belly on all these photos is quite bright. So I want to go back and add some more of the scarlet. Even though, so a set of pencils like the Color is a good example where they are very easy and very fast. These are very easy and very fast. The difference between those, well, these are light fast and those are not. But once I've burnished, so this whole area of this bird is burnished, but I look at it and it looks a little like the salmony pink color toned down the red. I want it to be brighter. So I can come back here and now do a somewhat light pressure glaze over the top, where the colors would be being a very oily, slick pencil. You would not be able to add, it just would roll over the top and very little added pigment would go down. But look at how vibrant, just taking this in little swirls. You could follow the shape of the feathers, the path the feathers would be if you don't want to do ovals. And I am brightening up, leaving this part of the cheek not as vibrant. And I want to brighten up the wings a bit. They look a little bit muted. It's kind of like you put a pastel over the top, and I don't want it to have that look. I do want them to be dusty colored, but not pastel-y looking. And see, as I have less of the gray underneath as my base coat. Actually, it's Castle Earth, which is a brown. So I'm getting more red showing at the bottom of these wings. I'm going to switch now. I want to switch to this permanent. Oh, that's Scarlet. Okay, we're going to go with Scarlet. So I already had the permanent red, which is the orangier red. Now I am lining on the black lines with this brighter red. That's looking nice. So I hope I'm leaving some white because I'm going to do a thing, and I'm hoping you've even left some white here, 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 here. Those are all with a purpose. The belly of these birds is very, very bright red. So I'm going to brighten up the belly right now. The upper belly. The lower is the softer where it gets kind of downy. Okay, I've left some tooth though. Oh, we're looking really nice. Oh, how nice. Love seeing the Cardinal come to life on my page. We're going to try this pink. We're going to see, but I'm going to be really careful. I don't want my black lines. So this is one problem I have with using the lights over the top. I do not want to mute those lines. I want them to stay black. I am not doing a no-line coloring, and I don't want to dampen them, so I have to be careful and work around them. If worse comes to worse, and I do not like it, I can add black lines back in, but that's a lot of extra work. All right. Again, avoiding the black lines. If these were very tiny lines, there'd be nothing I could do. Okay, back to permanent red. I need the chest bright, bright, bright. One thing you might have noticed, these are not very crumbly, and that is so nice. That I'm not a messy pencil person, and the crumbling that, say, Castle Arts Gold, Prismacolor, all of that crumbling business, not to my liking. And I love that these are not crumbling, because I'm adding a lot of color. Okay, going back to the pink for just these little ends, squishing down into the tooth. I want the belly to be softer, lighter. I gotta brighten up the tail. hear Hub having a conversation. I have the blast doors closed for filming, so Hub can come in and out. And Lucky has learned, I think I already told everybody that I had to put painter's tape about 8 inches up along my glass doors that close my room off, because he did not get that the first time I closed them. I didn't even think about it, and he ran right into it. Oh, so now he knows. All right, we're almost there. I want to work on the tail. I'm going to start with permanent red, which is the more orangey red. I am going pretty soft. My hand is that far away. Because I went over yesterday, I can spend a little more time on this than I normally would. You guys might hear that dove. I'm going to take Castle. I didn't want these teardrops to be completely black. So this is Castle Earth. It's a little softer. And then I'm going to take the red, like so. There. Since I have the Castle Earth in my hand, and I want the bottoms of these to be pretty brown, so I have all these lines, which means if I wanted to burnish with the pink, this pink, I need to kind of be careful. If I went hard over these lines, they would turn gray, and I don't want them to turn gray. But I would like to have the tooth be filled in. I'm going to add a little more red to that. The red, which is Scarlet 70. I'm seeing a few crumbs now that I just told you that you don't get crumbs with this set. You get very little, and I do have a brush nearby. I'm going to see how many crumbs do I have. That's it. Right there. You can hardly even see them. Amazing. These are great pencils. Fantastic pencils. I am going in a V, in the direction the feathers would really be, the feather tendrils, whatever you call them, would be going. All right, there is our very vibrant Cardinal. Now we're going to just finish off. Maybe we will be doing a short day. I see some tooth I'm going to take Castle Earth, and I want to eliminate the tooth here in the black. But I don't want to make the black look unnatural, which I think it would look very stark if it was just pure black. All right, I do have my electric eraser and the Mono Zero. I want to clean up, since we have a little time, I am going to clean up. Be sure when you use your erasers that you make sure your tip is clean of whatever color you used last. And I just run my hand or my finger across it, the thumb, and that cleans it off. Because I did quite a bit of burnishing, and depending on how picky you are, I see some tooth. I'm not going to worry about the tooth, but in the tail there's a little bit. I'm only giving myself 45 minutes, so I don't want to go crazy. Now, I'm using my hand. If this was a Prismacolor-ish type pencil, I would have just used this brush. These pencils are way more forgiving. Red does stain the paper. I'm seeing a little bit of staining where I went over the lines. Not too bad. So if you care about your lines when you're using reds like I have been today, you would want to be more careful than I was. Okay, moving on to the browns. Now what's interesting is I picked this color, the Raw Umber 50%, 846, and he is so vibrant. I used this as a soft base here and there, I think at the very beginning. Maybe I never even used it. So I can use it like I did that pink. Do some filling in of the tooth. Remember, the wings, I purposely want to have a dustiness to them. So adding this color to emphasize kind of that dusty, tanny brown tone just makes it look a little more realistic. I could leave it bright red if I wanted to. The tummy is all bright red. This is like the pink. This is a very nice under or overtone. These just are really lovely. I think when I use the Holbeins, I feel the same way. I go, wow, these are really fantastic pencils. I use a lot of pencils, so I like all the pencils. So it has to be a really special pencil to make me feel like I feel right now using these, like, wow, these are really good. What I think makes me feel that way right now is how I've got a fully saturated, very dominant color of red, and I am having zero problem putting down over the top this light tan. You can even see, look at the tip is pink, but I am able to get a lot of depth just adding this tan over the top of a way more saturated, vibrant color. This is very, very nice. All right. Love him. We've got and I picked up these two browns because I was supposed to start on the branch. I'm going to move him over more this way. I now will be coloring over the top of him. So I don't think this pencil set has any issues with my palm. However, to be safe, I'm looking for glassine. But I just had some floating around. But I will get another piece. I actually keep a stash of pre-cut down glassine. I bought a roll of it. So I have it all cut down so that it fits this size book. And we will get started with I'm going to sharpen it. So I don't have a middle tone. The branches are so simple that I did not pick a middle tone of brown. And I think it will be okay. I even feel I could, because of the branch being narrow, I could sharpen this even more, but I'm going to try to muddle through without another sharpening. So one thing you can do if you're using the red, let's say you do the Cardinal and you're using the red, I see some staining here. You can do a background and that will help minimize the look of that staining. For today, I'm not going to do a background, and I've done, this book is mostly done without backgrounds, but I do plan to break this book out and pick images that would lend themselves to like a blue, very simple background. I'm not into fancy backgrounds, though maybe I'll try some in here. I had switched to that light color, raw umber 50%. Oh, and I totally missed a part of the branch that should be dark. Yeah, so backgrounds. I just finished 4 wreaths, and I'm so excited that's 4 pages. I absolutely will be doing each wreath with a different background at some point. It's going to be like Small Victories Phase 2 backgrounds. And perhaps even we will say embellishments, because I don't do a lot with bling. So that's what this book will become. It will still be very useful for me. I'm using this light tan to burnish down the dark. I'm going to go softly. Since the Cardinal is so flat without a lot of highlights, I don't want to have a shiny look, because bark would not actually be shiny unless it was a really smooth wood, maybe. So here, I think, is the look I'm after. All right, now we've got leaves. Leaves, and then we are done. I'm going to work right to left. I have 3 colors. Cobalt green 182, grass green 220, and dark English green 729. I don't hope you guys can't hear this. Hub is outside. He is not supposed to have the cat outside, but he brings him outside. And there is a snake. And he is telling him, Lucky, look at the snake. Do you see the snake? Look at the snake. So, I am pretty sure it is not a rattlesnake. We have rattlesnakes here. We live on a trail, so they do come very close to us here at our house. But we have this black snake that tends to be around the house. Now he's come around the window and he's staring at me with the cat. And all of the birds are gone, of course.
Our first snake.
We all heard it. I'm talking about it. You just told me. You probably heard him talking through the window. They saw their first snake. So again, I purposefully picked nice bright greens because I did want them to be able to show up nicely next to the very vibrant red of this male Cardinal. So I'm just blocking in the shadowy bits. I'll probably switch. I won't move the glassine yet. I'll probably get all of these leaves done and then move to do the rest of them. Switching to the middle color, I might also be able to get away with just using a dark and a light. Now, I will tell you, you've got 100 pencils. It's not like you're going to find a light and perfect light, medium, and dark in a set of 100. So this green, to me, is very green compared to the dark green. But in the end, it will blend out nicely. It just won't look perfect until you're all finished. So I was telling my mom that I wanted to, since we had our first time coloring the other day, that I want to, when I go have coffee with her, which I do almost every afternoon, we exercise together at the exercise classes, and then have coffee almost every afternoon. So I want to start using that coffee time, which we've just been busy catching up, getting her organized, showing me things around the house, asking for help because she just moved in. So now that we're kind of all done with that, I want to use that time when we're visiting to catch up on any homework from my daily colors. So that's what I did the other day. And that's when she was asking about wanting another small book. I told her about the miniatures. You guys saw the my haul last month. Lightest color coming in now, and that is this light cobalt green. That it says miniatures, but it doesn't mean the book is miniature or the image is miniature necessarily. So I still love the imagery. They are simple with larger spaces, and it will be a challenge for me to be coloring those, especially with you guys. We'll see if I can put on my brave pants and not practice ahead of time. Just kind of like how I started with the small victories. Just opened up the book to the beginning and started coloring. Okay, so my normal inclination would be to leave some white, but because this cardinal, this whole page really doesn't have hardly any white. I have some white on the green, on the leaves above. Here's these leaves. There's a tiny bit of white. To make this page match, I need to remove the white. It needs to look like the birds. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just had something fall from a tree and hit my window. So speaking of birds, there are birds. In fact, I believe one of the cardinal females keeps hitting my window, and we don't know why. She kind of bombs the window when they're here eating. And it is not clear to me why she would do that. Maybe she sees herself reflected, do you think? And she's attacking it? That's the only thing I could think. So now the way these pencils work, they very much mix, and I've lost some of the dark. So just like the Cardinal, and I had to go back and darken, you can keep adding and adding more and more colors. You can do somewhat light over dark like I was doing with that 50% raw umber on the bird over the bright red. And so now I'm adding this dark green back over the top because I've softened it by adding the middle and light tones. So I need to go back through, darken it up. Heavy pressure here. Though I don't think you would have to use heavy pressure. I haven't seen hardly anyone on the trail because we're still in the garage sale time, which is from 8 to noon, I believe. I can't believe I've been to enough. We have 2 garage sales a year, and I have participated. The first one, I was a buyer because we had just moved in and we had hardly anything. Just what was on our backs and in the trailer. So we needed a whole bunch of stuff. From then on, I became a seller. I'm going to move and do these. Oh, I have to do his little feet. This back leaf will be dark. darker than the others. I'll save the last two. Hopefully I won't forget. Middle color going down. So if I haven't said it already, these are very expensive. They are one of the most expensive sets out there. Buying them in a full set gives you the best price, but I believe per pencil, I think full regular price at Blick is around $4.20, and you can get them on sale here and there. So they're super expensive. They don't fit in my budget now in my current life, since we bought a home back in the day. When we traveled and didn't own a home, that's when I picked up, over time, over a many year span, I bought 5 sets of professional pencils, and I do own individual Derwent artists for some tutorials that I was doing. I've moved to the lightest color. I don't know that I really need any other professional sets. I don't own all the Holbeins. I did start my Holbein collecting with my, now I own a home, but I am retired and have a fixed income lifestyle. So that has taken a very long time, and I've been buying them either on a good sale or used. And I still own, I think, 90, so I have 60 more to get. That will come over time. And I do own, I will tell you, I own the macarons. The Brutfuner macarons are actually a knockoff of the Holbein. I think I only need to like simulate a complete set, because the Brutfuner macarons are a fantastic set of pencils. So I only need to buy 27. And I don't need there's metallics and neons, and I don't need those. Those would be the lowest priority. All right, last 2. And then some feet, and we're going to call this done. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're good. I did end up needing the full time. I thought this might be a short one. It's very hard for me to color and not leave any white. That is not how I operate. So when I do these projects where I'm like, I am going to not have any white, it's very challenging, but good. I'm going back with the dark again. It makes me want to do a lot darker darks. How's that? If there's no white at all. And I don't think that this would be one that I would put any white gel pen. All right, all I have to do now are some feet. I'm going to grab the Castle Earth and the Raw Umber. So let's do it's kind of going to be the color of the wood. All right, guys. Whew. And you know what? I keep forgetting to check the focus because I get so engrossed in what I'm doing. So I hope that this is focused. I apologize if my knuckle got in the way. I messed any of that up. And there is our finished Cardinal. Boy, was that fun. Love these pencils. Okay, between the 2 sets, I'm trying to remember log my preference between the two. And then the planning documents that I have made for every page, which I vary how much detail I put in them, is part of the membership, where I will provide a picture. And then I've been trying to add more notes of my experience of coloring, because I might talk about it in the videos, but then it's nice to see a summary. So I will be making notes that between the head-to-head between the Starjoy Gold and the Luminance, that the Luminance wins hands down, but the Starjoy Gold is still a fantastic pencil, especially for the price. All right, so that is it for the day. I am a little bit early, 40 minutes, 41 minutes. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. We will be attacking the 20 small flowers next. It will be one of those speed coloring with one flower, one set of pencils, 20 sets of pencils total. Because I do want, this is March 1st, and I do want to, or March 2nd, to finish the book as close to the end of March as possible, because I started this book March 15th, 2024, and it is my very first book I've ever colored in, and I'm so excited to finish it. I will be trying to do, normally I go horizontal, and I would do 4 sets per day, and it would be 5 days. I am going to do as many as I can vertically, and try to have it span no more than 4 days. And that means that it will not be as detailed as these cardinals, but we'll see how it goes. So everybody take care, and I hope to see you when we start on the flowers. I hope you will join me. Take care.